Good morning, everybody. This is Vince with Listings to Leads, and this is our call on Facebook advertising. And it's good that you see this because we just added some new technology that is really important and really valuable. And I'll just cut to the chase. We can now automatically run ads for you. You don't even have to touch a button to run ads and get leads. Now, when I was actually just on, I was in our mastermind group. And I recommend that you get in here if you're still kind of trying to learn about us, because we just had a review from a team at Remax, and just saying, you know, how their team has been using us, but also used a whole lot of other platforms to try to get to real social media marketing and lead gen, and they're just telling you why and how it's working, which pretty excited to see that. We just posted it, I think, a couple days ago in the mastermind group. But I want to talk about one thing before we dive into the whole Facebook advertising part, because there's two elements to Facebook ads that I think you got to kind of think of. When you are running ads, obviously they are seen by thousands of people, right? This is our mastermind group, so this is not an ad. But when we're running an ad on our public sites, and when you're running ads on your sites, you're building your brand because it says it's sponsored, right? Like right here, this is sponsored by Heidi Loves FL Real Estate, right? So this is an ad. This is the kind of ad that you can run. You can click a couple of buttons and do it yourself, or you can just turn on the automation and we'll run it for you. But I want to point out that this lady, Heidi, has been running the ads herself, which takes about a few seconds. The questions that go out, we're automatically getting name, email, and phone number automatically, but we're also asking them a question: what's your time frame to buy, or what's your time frame to sell, right? So just dreaming means, oh, I'm just poking around. But if somebody says, I got to sell in 1 to 3 months, guess what? You need to get active with that lead. And so we are getting leads like that. And this post that we're looking at here is actually, Heidi posted this inside the mastermind group a couple days earlier, to say, you know what? Yeah, she just posted, she's got 447 leads with names and phone numbers and emails for 8 cents a lead, okay? This was at the beginning of December. So what I'm talking about, what I'm going to show you, works in the real market today. And I think Heidi was probably on one of my calls before Christmas or before December, because I kept telling agents, like, this is the time to advertise because everybody's sitting at home because they're not working, and your competitors, meaning other realtors like you, are taking a nap until spring. And so you don't have competition on Facebook, so your lead gen gets really affordable. All she did there was run ads on properties and caught 447 leads with name, email, and phone number for around 8 cents each. So that's awesome for lead gen, okay? It's also awesome for branding, because every time she ran an ad, thousands of people saw Heidi Loves Florida Real Estate, right? So she's building her brand on Facebook. Now, what I want to talk about before I show you how and all the new cool stuff, I want to kind of just show that number is, that 447, it's kind of an outlier, because most of our clients, I would say 50% of our clients, even though they signed up and they pay us, they don't even use our system to run an ad on Facebook because they don't know how it works or whatever. And they, you know, probably half of our clients don't even run ads on Facebook, okay, for their own particular reasons. But for agents and for our clients and for realtors, we have been thinking about something that I want to introduce to you now, and that is a real estate calculator. And what is a real estate calculator, right? What our calculator does is it projects your income in commissions, right? In real estate transactions and commissions in a given time frame, in a year, right? And so the way this calculator works, the way you get here is listingstoleads.com/calculator. You say, how much do you want to make, right? You might say, I want to make 100,000, right? And then you say, well, what's your average sale price in your area, right? And you might say, well, my average sale price is 200,000. And when you make those changes, I don't know if you could see it over here, but this number changes, right? That says you need about 209 leads a month, okay? Now let's tie that back to what this lady's doing here. She needs 447 leads a month, okay? I don't know, I'm sorry, no, she generated 447 leads in less than a month. That's what she had done. But here, you know, you might say, you know what, I actually want to make 200,000 next year. And by, you know, our sales, average sales is 4, whatever, you can change it. You can change these metrics down here, but we're telling you, you can convert 1% of your leads, right? So we're not like overselling this concept. But I do want to point out, notice when I changed it to 200, it now says I need 417 leads a month, right? Because I'm expecting more income. There's also another really important part of this calculator. Over here, this pie chart, it's telling you the percentage of those leads that you could probably get, right? A lot of them will come from social media. Some will come from your farm. There's also your database, your sphere of influence, right? And then the seller's sphere of influence. So if you're an experienced agent, and that's what this is on right now, this radio button, you'll have all of these kind of avenues to capture leads. And with listings to leads, you can capture these leads. But if you're a new agent, you can click this button here. And these options of your database disappears because you're a new agent. You don't really have 1,000 leads to drip on or convert or whatever. So that's why the pie chart changes. And then, you know, you can see here it's saying, well, you're going to need 355 leads from social media. And then from your farm, you can still develop from your farm. We definitely have tools to help you from your farm, right? So even if you don't have listings, even if you do have listings, and if you're brand new, even if you're borrowing listings, we've got tools to help you get leads from your farm target markets, okay? So even as a new agent, this calculator is going to help you sort of predict if you want to make a certain amount of money, you need to get to a certain amount of leads every month. And then obviously we're going to help you convert things like that. So this is just an example here of somebody this month in December generating a good amount of leads, right? So let's now talk about, and I just want to remind you, this is listingstoleads.com/calculator. And if you want to maybe forecast what you'd like to earn next year, if you're going to be in real estate, I invite you to go to this website right here, go to this link on our website, and just plug these numbers in and get yourself an idea of what you kind of need for lead gen, right? So with that being said, social media is typically a large part of the volume of leads you can get. Meaning you can get leads from your farm and your database and your seller sphere influence, but they typically won't be as easy to get. And so just the volume is just much easier. And as I mentioned, we can do Facebook ads and Instagram ads automatically. So we can make it really easy, right? You don't have to touch anything. So I'm going to show you that next. Let's log into the system. And I'm going to kind of hope that you do go to that calculator and you do sort of punch in some numbers and say, this is what I want to do, right? And then get an idea of what you need to be doing consistently in lead generation every month, right? And we do have a larger presentation where we talk about one thing in that pie chart is that certain leads, like leads from your farm, convert faster than leads from Facebook, right? And leads from your CRM can convert faster. Leads from your sellers influence can convert faster than your Facebook leads. That being said, got a lot of clients doing business Facebook leads right now. I showed you in the mastermind group, this guy was talking about his own team and how they're having really great success working with these leads, capturing these leads, because they are coming with accurate phone numbers and emails. So let's click over here to the ad section. And in case you're not aware, like when you come here the first time, you have to connect your account. There's a big button in the middle and it says connect to Facebook, right? And you connect to Facebook, and there's a little video on this page that'll show you exactly the buttons you got to click. It really takes about 30 seconds to connect your Facebook account to your listings to leads account. And what that does is that makes these 4 buttons appear at the top. So you can run ads for listings, ads for landing pages, and ads for PDF report ads, right? You can even create a custom audience. I'll talk about that kind of stuff later, okay? So when we think about that calculator, and we think, let's go back and pull it up again. Listings to leads calculator. You know, it's going to tell us if you want to make $250,000 and your average sale is 300,000 in your market, you're going to need 350 leads a month, okay? And down here, if you hover over this, it's going to need about 263 from social media, right? You should be doing these other functions because these are higher quality leads, but let's just focus on this part. So what kind of ads can I run? I could just go here and say, hey, I'm going to run a listing ad on something for sale. I got an open house. Maybe I'm borrowing an open house, and I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to click create an ad, and this is how difficult it is to run that. You see this green button that says publish? You click it. Because we're auto-populating the city, there's instantly a radius of 15 miles. We're going to charge your card on your Facebook business account $35, and this ad's going to run for 7 days. It's going to look like this, right? And let me show you something in the mastermind group. That looks a lot like this ad. And this is the ad, and ads like this are how Heidi generated 447 leads in December, right? It's this ad, right? It's this ad generator right here, okay? It's auto-populating, the leads are coming in with name, phone number, and email, and asking the question, what's your time frame to sell? So how did she do it? She chose the property and she clicked publish. That's all you got to do, okay? Let's go back to the ads page. What if I want to run a landing page ad, right? You may not know this, but we create 3 landing pages right off the bat in your account. Every one of you has 3 landing pages. So if I click create a landing page, I could use one of those 3. The free home value one, down payer assistance. I'm going to do new construction, right? And create an ad. And there it is. It's pre-written. This time you got to take an extra step. You got to type in the name of the town, right? I'm going to say Concord, California, and boom, press this button, okay? And then you're going to get new construction leads, people who want to buy new construction homes. So these are some of the ways you can do that. And I will point out that on the landing pages, you can create custom landing pages. So you can create a custom landing page for golf course properties, for waterfront properties, for lakefront properties, for who knows, whatever your focus is, right? Maybe it's a particular neighborhood or subdivision that you want to focus on. So you can certainly use it for that, right? There's also a really powerful section right here, create PDF report ads. So if you want to see these PDF reports, every one of them has a little white button, circular button on the top left. You can download it. You will quickly see that your contact information is on every page of this PDF report. So it's a really good report to convey information about real estate, but it's also branded to you. So if you want to create an ad, why not click create ad here, type in the name of the town that you want to run ads in, and you could even say, hey, I want to expand the radius because I wouldn't mind more people seeing it, right? And click publish. And now when people respond to this, yes, you're going to get their name, email, and phone number, and their time frame to sell or buy. But they're going to be able to download this report. And like I said, every one of those pages is branded to you. So it's a great way of capturing leads. It's a great way of building brand. And if you can see here, it says it's sponsored by Listings to Leads. That's because I'm connected to our ad account. But you, it's going to be sponsored by your business page. So every time you run an ad, your business page is seen by 1,000 to 3,000 people, right? Every time. And so often when I talk to agents about Facebook, I tell them they should be running 8 ads a month. That's 2 ads a week. And I'm telling this to agents who have no business, like you're brand new, you just got your license, maybe you've been in it for 6 months, but you're sort of sitting there and not a lot is happening. What should you do? One part of what you should be doing is running 8 ads every month on Facebook, okay? And let me just say, when you do that, your business page will be seen 15 to 20,000 times every month. This is good for your brand because if you're a new agent, guess what? The only people who know you're an agent are maybe a handful to a dozen of your friends. You're not going to be on page 1 of Google. You have to build a brand. And Facebook for $200 a month, spread out over 8 ads, that's 2 ads a week, you're going to build your brand, right? And you're going to capture hundreds of leads every month too. Right? So that's a really smart thing to be doing. Now, I also want to point out that 25 of these reports are for sellers and 25 are for buyers. Okay. So one thing that I want to say about home buyer and home seller leads is they cost different, right? Seller leads on Facebook, Facebook charges you more for seller leads. If it's a buyer lead, you're still getting, name, email, and phone number, but they're charging you a lot less, okay? And I can tell you, I think it's inside our mastermind group, and I definitely, I should have popped this up earlier. We actually you can certainly ask support. I'm going to see if I can find it here. We basically have analyzed the last $500,000 in ads spent from our platform on Facebook ads. And I can't find it. I'm sorry, I'm kind of dragging us through a bunch of stuff here. And I don't have it in front of me. But let me explain what I'm looking for. We have thousands of clients running ads around the country every day, right? And what we can see is, well, this is how much money is being spent, and this is the cost per lead, okay? And what I have seen and what we have seen in the last $500,000 spent on ads, which is a lot of ads, that the average buyer cost per lead is $1.77. And I think the average seller lead is like $4.50. That's pretty awesome, actually. $4.50 for a seller lead with a name, email, and phone number. This is a great way of capturing seller leads is running ads. The only challenge about that, though, is that they don't convert as fast as leads from your seller's sphere of influence, from your database, or from your farm. There are other ways. That's not the point of this call today, is what are the multiple ways of capturing leads and how can I get higher quality leads? The point of this is, how do I get leads from Facebook? And so right now we've talked about that just going to the Facebook ad section, you can run ads on listings, you can run ads on landing pages, and you can run ads on PDF reports, okay? So I want to say one more thing, because you might be a new agent and you don't have any listings, right? So you could use this button here and borrow a listing. You obviously want to get permission, but then you can use this button that says grab active listing and then drop in the zip code and drop in the MLS ID and say it's not your listing, so we don't make a YouTube video, and grab it, and boom, it's going to be sitting in your listing list like this. And when you go to run an ad, it's going to be sitting right there ready for you to run an ad. So you can do this even if you don't have your own listings. You can still take advantage of this, okay? So, but now that we're on the listings page, I want to show you some really brand new technology. And if you're one of those people that doesn't like to run ads, you just, it scares you or whatever, right? You just don't feel comfortable. Check this out. When you go to the listings page, here's a tab that says settings. And when you click that, there's a tab down here that says ads. And when you click this, this tells us to run ads automatically for you. Do you recognize this ad? This is the kind of ad that I just showed you has generated 477 leads in December. So you can say, hey, I want to set my monthly budget for 200 bucks. And I want to run ads anytime I have something just listed or an open house. Obviously, you can do all these, but I might just do these three, just sold, right? And I want to have a maximum number of ads per week as 4, just because I don't want too many ads. And then it says, hey, we will run your ads at a 1 week long. And if they're for buyers, we're going to charge $35. And if they're for sellers, $50. Okay, like I said earlier, seller leads are more expensive, so we want to spend a little more on that. So if you turn this on here, like I've done just now, and click save, we're going to run those ads automatically. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the listings here. And here is where it says it's active, right? If it goes this also has an open house, but if it goes from active to say sold, which we were talking about earlier, boom, it's going to automatically run an ad. So all you have to do is update the status here, and that's the trigger to tell us to automatically run the ad for you. And you will be getting leads with name, email, and phone number. Okay, it doesn't really get much easier than that. But you can, of course, go to the ad section and click a couple buttons yourself and not turn on the automation and get that done. But the one thing I want to talk about automation, like setting up on the listings page, is, as you can see, to create an ad, it's not very difficult. Here's a sold property. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to click create an ad. And all I got to do after I've chosen the property is click publish. That's not very difficult, right? You know what's difficult though for every realtor? It's to do something consistently over and over. That is a really tough task. And if you ask yourself that, you know there are things you need to do in your business. Do you do them consistently on time over and over and over? It's just going to take a wild guess and say no, you don't, because you're like all of us. We don't always do everything that's like monotonous and boring. So guess what? Listings to Leads has created a button for you to just tell us to do it for you automatically. I showed you how to do it, okay? So that's really awesome. I definitely recommend it, because when you go look at that calculator and you go decide how much you want to earn next year, you know you've got to get to X number of leads every month. Consistent marketing is how you do that. And telling listings to leads, just run these ads for me automatically. That's going to do that. So I definitely recommend that that's what you're doing. So I would suggest using the automation just to do this automatically, because we know, and you can see in our mastermind group, that people are getting a lot of leads. But the trick is, do I actually have to do it myself, or can these guys at Listings to Leads do it automatically? And the answer is we can do it for you automatically. Go to listings, go to settings, click ads, and turn this on and set it and save it, and boom, it's all happening automatically. Okay. I'll say one more thing. I'm going to let you go after that. I'm going to go over here to the landing page section, and you can create, when we come here, there's always 3, and you'll notice I have a lot of landing pages. I got some for FSBOs. I've got various towns that I work on, stuff like that. So you can create a landing page right here. You can create Property Valuation Plus is the instant valuation landing page. You can create custom landing pages for buyers, for sellers. And then we've got all these, but all the custom landing pages, when you create them, you can then run ads on them over here. Okay. So you might have a particular story that you want to get out. I mean, realtors you know, in theory, all do the same thing, but in reality, their businesses are very unique. You have certain strengths, you have certain things you focus on, and oftentimes a landing page can tell a particular story that Scott and I have not thought about, right? And if you want to get that story out, you go create a landing page, it tells that story, and then you go, boom, let's create a landing page and drive traffic to that, right? Or, you know, something like that. So these are the kinds of ways of running ads. I think really the smartest thing I would recommend is that you automatically, you let us do it for you automatically. So you can kind of set it and forget it. Now, that being said, when we go back to this calculator, these other sections have higher quality leads, but that's not the point of this call. So I definitely would recommend that you find out. And if you want to learn more about the other ways of capturing leads, come into our mastermind group and just scroll down. You will notice that we have a number of posts that say recorded webinar, okay? And like right here. And these are the top tools to get listings, okay? So if you want more listings, and we're definitely talking in this section about the other side of the pie chart, right? So check that out and see what's going on, right? So that you have a full marketing system for your farm market, for your CRM, for your seller's sphere of influence, and of course for social media, right? I also recommend you watch this Get Started, because this is, if you're kind of like not fully using listings to leads, you might want to know the basics. And, you know, checking out the calls from December and Thursday, or I'm sorry, not Thursday, I'm thinking Thanksgiving, which was November. We launched a lot of new stuff in the past 2 months, and catching our most recent calls, you're going to find out about that. So that's my recommendation, is take a little of this downtime and look at what people are doing with our system to get leads, high quality seller leads and buyer leads. So that's my story, everybody. If there are any questions, please put it in the chat panel. This recording, this webinar is being recorded, and it will be in the call. I do want to point out one more thing. This call right here on December 6th, called Get Started, talks about custom audiences and Facebook retargeting. And I'm going to show you that very quickly. I'm going to create an ad on an open house. And again, you could borrow an open house and pull it in here, pull it in your account. That's a problem here. Okay. And click add, create ad. And I showed you how you can automatically do, like, you can do it automatically. But if you do it this way, you can turn on retarget current leads. And this is super, super powerful. And if you watch that call, it's going to tell you what this all means. I'm going to just tell you in a short, simple way. When you turn on custom audiences and listings to leads and Facebook retargeting, it tells us to create files in your own Facebook account, meaning it's in Facebook for you, and it will be there until the day you cancel Facebook. Any lead you capture in our system, we're going to put in that file. And when that file is big enough, you're going to be able to retarget, just like I am right here, so that when my ad goes out, in this case to everybody within 15 miles of Berkeley, it's also going to go in front of all my old listings to leads, okay? All my buyer and seller leads. I recommend that you do that every time you run that. That might be the only reason why I suggest you don't turn on automation, because there's one thing about capturing a lead, right? When we say you need 350 leads a month, that means those are 350 new leads every month to make $250,000, right? But it also entails you convert some of those leads. You actually have conversations with them, and you actually sign contracts with them and do business with them. That's when you make the money, which is where the commissions come in, right? And one of the smartest ways to convert is to keep running ads. And if you target your old leads right here with retarget current leads, it gets your brand in front of them, and they keep seeing you over and over because every time you run an ad, you're staying in front of that group. That is an awesome way. That is an awesome way to convert leads. Another point about that is if you've been in the game for a while, if you've been a realtor for whatever number of years, and you've got a CRM of leads, you can export those leads from that, right? If you're somebody with hundreds or thousands of leads, you can export your leads from your CRM, and you could drop them. You can go right over here and create an audience and call them my old leads and upload those leads there. If you want to see what that spreadsheet should look like, it looks like that right there, okay? And you create that and you upload it, and then you can retarget those old leads too. So you can retarget your L2L leads, your dusty CRM leads, and anybody living within 30 miles of whatever town you pick, okay? This is really important because in 2022, we're gonna help you really focus on converting leads. Right now, I've shown you today that you can automatically generate leads. You just gotta set it up and go drink some coffee and forget about it. But if we can do that automatically, we still need you to convert it. We're actually, I will tell you this, turn on, unless you've got a really awesome CRM, because I would just, another broad brush stroke is 50% of realtors don't even have a CRM, right? If you don't have a CRM, turn on follow-ups over here. We've got an awesome system. I talk about it in another class, so we're not going to talk about it today. You can learn about it in the mastermind group. My recent calls from December, I cover this. So everybody, thanks a lot. Have a great new year. Keep safe. Get in the mastermind group. If you're not in the mastermind group, click on support down here on the left and say, please add me to the mastermind group, right? And just click send, and that's the fastest way. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining me, and have a great 2022. 2022. Bye-bye.